Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome, glad to have you. You know, when we were young men, looking at motorcycles, but what identified Harley Davidson was the sound. We didn't look at Harleys and say, wow, that bike must be fast, or must be this. It's the sound. We all fell in love with the sound of Harley Davidson, and even the stock mufflers, we all fell in love with that sound. Well, if you're looking for some slip-ons, I have some advice for what you're looking for and what makes the good sound in the mufflers, no matter if you're looking for the deep low end or some crack of a racing thing. There's some things that you should look for when you're looking for slip-ons, and stick around, I'll tell you what it is. So when I got my Rineharts, I got the 4.5'S, and I just love the sound of Rineharts. To me, they're the true sound of Harley Davidson, and Vance & Hines is too, to a certain extent, but I think the low rumble of the Rineharts really represents Harley for me, and I love my 4.5'S. But the reason they have such a low rumble is they have the large opening. It's 4.5. Now, I've been in the audio business for 55 years, and I've studied wavelength theory. So I knew kind of what to look for. I wanted that low rumble, and I didn't want the what they call the DBX Baffle. It's too loud. And when you have a large opening like that in the standard Baffle, the air comes out slower. I don't know if you've ever had a vacuum cleaner and the big hose, and you put the little one on, you can tell it's moving faster. That affects the sound. Now, there are some guys who love that sound, but not me. I actually sold my 2016 because I made the huge mistake of putting a 2-into-1 on there, which means you got both cylinders going down into one exit port, which makes it come out real fast, but you end up losing the lower octave, and it drove me crazy. Also, I made the mistake of putting in headers and opening up, making a little bit more. Well, you're exiting more gas, but you get the more spark and more fuel makes for a different sound than it would normally be. And I noticed when I put the headers on, it was twice as loud. So, 2 strikes against it. The port wasn't big enough to really support the sound I wanted for coming out of both cylinders. So I got rid of that bike, and I bought the Crush, and the favorite sound I've ever had on this is the Stage 1 with the Rineharts. Went up to Sturgis, and Rinehart will put them on for free. I just got in line and bought the 4.5's and just waited for them to put them on. And I knew they were going to be done right because they're done by the factory. And I just fell in love with that. The Stage 1 was just beautiful. It's a nice low rumble. Having to do the Stage 2, it's a little bit different. And I showed you what that sound was like. It's not bad. Not as good as Stage 1. But when I'm going down the highway, because it's got the standard Baffle in it, and I'm just cruising, I don't even hear these things. You have to be going around town and romping on it to hear them, which is great for me. When I'm traveling, I just don't want to hear that drone all the time. Now, I know there's a lot of guys who are doing the short turnouts, the 2-into-1s, the headers, beefing up the horsepower on their bike. That all changes the characteristics of the sound coming out of your bike. For me, I don't like the bike to have that turnout and that 2-into-1. It just sounds like a drag bike. It doesn't sound like a touring Harley to me. And then there's other guys that just do 2-into-1, maybe have a phony pipe coming out the other side. It still doesn't do it for me. Now, there's some different sounds that I do like. The only other manufacturer I like has been Honda when they had their 6-cylinder inline CBX. Sounds like a Ferrari. And there's a reason it sounds like a Ferrari with the 6 cylinders and the small exhaust. I wish I could afford a CBX. I can't seem to find one. But if you're looking for that low rumble, don't get the 2-into-1 headers and the turnout. You're not going to get it. You're going to lose the entire octave low end off of the sound that you want. I would suggest going out and listening to different pipes. If you get a chance to go to Sturgis or Daytona, you can probably hear them. They got them on some bikes. And then listen to them on a stage 1 and a stage 2, because mine's totally different. It's still good. I still like the low rumble. And you probably heard it going up and down the street. It's not extremely loud, but it's there. Of course, if I was just to get on it, it would be there for sure. But it's all about physics. You know, have a bigger throat coming back out. It's going to travel slower than if you have something smaller. And it's not going to be as loud. When you've got something traveling that fast in a small pipe, it's going to be a lot louder. So I hope this gives you something to go by if you're looking to buy some slip-ons. And if you want that true Harley sound, why don't you check out the Rinehart 4.5'S. Or maybe even the Vance and Hines. I think they got a 4.5 too. Go for that big exit. For me, it'll always be Rinehart's.